He had that deal. He could have signed it, done. He didn't take the deal. One, he didn't trust the people that were coming in. He didn't trust them. He didn't like them. There wasn't rapport. And two, he didn't want to pay taxes on the 2 million. He already knows he's got to pay his broker and he's got to pay a bunch of money on those taxes up front. So I asked him if he was willing to get creative. And he said, yeah. I go, how creative are you willing to get? Are you willing to get it creative to where I can get it to where you're paying almost no taxes? He goes, just like this. He goes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. A very warm welcome to the Creative Dealmaker podcast. I'm Carl Allen. I'm your host, and I'm going to be interviewing expert guests sharing investor strategies that will completely and utterly disrupt the market when it comes to buying and selling businesses all over the world. Hey guys, it's Carl Allen. Welcome to today's Dealmaker, Creative Dealmaker podcast show. I've got one of my favorite dealmakers today. He's actually my dealmaker of the year. He was our 2023 Dealmaker of the Year out of over 1,000 of my protege. So welcome to the show.
And the thing is with the deal making and buying businesses, dude, I'm having the most fun I've ever had by far. There's challenges, and that's the fun part.
Yeah.
But it's honestly, it's easy. It's simple. I shouldn't say it's easy because nothing's easy. It's simple. Once you understand it, someone like your caliber who's been doing it for so many years, for you, it's like putting your shoe on in the morning at this point. But I mean, it is fun. It is so much fun.
So let's talk about some of the deals that you've done. So I know that you've targeted the CPA industry. You're doing a roll-up of CPA firms, which is an absolutely amazing thing to do because I think it's so ripe for consolidation. But just walk me through your process of some of the deals that you've done. How did you close them?
They've all been a little different at this point. The accounting firms came very organically, honestly. I look, I want something from my last companies. I've realized a few things. Boring is good. Not that I want to do boring forever, but boring businesses are a good thing, and they cash flow. I want something that someone needs no matter what. I was in insurance. People need that at one point. When one of my previous companies where not everyone needed it, and it was very up and down based upon the economy or based upon government issues. So accounting everyone needs. The IRS is not going anywhere. They just hired 20-something thousand new IRS agents. It's not going anywhere. So everyone needs it, whether you're a small business or an individual. So I like that. I liked how fragmented the industry was. It's extremely fragmented. I like how ripe it is. Like you said, there's a lot of owners that are just ready to retire. They're at that perfect baby boomer age.
Yeah.
And so that was very intriguing as I was looking for sectors to go into. And I've gotten into other sectors now, but and I can't wait to continue to get into more. But that's what really intrigued me with those. And so, honestly, all of your training gave me such a foundation or such a lot of things that I was missing, gave me those pieces. The first couple deals I did, to be honest with you, I closed, which is not something you teach. You don't teach that. And I didn't want to do that. However, what I wanted to do was get started faster than I could ever get started. And I knew I can go in there and corner a seller. I can get it for less expensive. Instead of, if he's asking $2 million, I could probably get it for 1.4 to 1.6 on a deal if the numbers are right. And I can get in there and I can get it closed quick based upon due diligence, but I can just get it closed quick. I don't got to worry about financing. So I wanted to do that quickly. So my first few, I did that. Since then, I've done some LBOs, and I've also done one of your annuity deals, which is, I'm in the middle of finishing that.
Let's talk about the annuity deal, because that when I saw that, I thought that was pretty badass, because you even got the real estate on an annuity, correct?
No, actually, we left the real estate alone. We were going to, but we left it where it's at. So the real estate deal came, man, this is all you, because when you always talk about it, I have full trust in you, faith in you, and I know people are doing. I'm like, I know I can do that, but damn, I gotta find the right situation. But there's a lot more of them than I think I even realized.
Yeah.
So we get in. I have a meeting, a first seller meeting through Zoom. The company's actually local to me, which was nice. The gentleman was fantastic. It's a broker deal, so the broker was on the first call, and we had a great combo for about 25, 30 minutes. I needed some more financials. They sent them over, and I said, "Hey, I want to go to the office or to the warehouse, and I want to sit with you." So we go, we sit, we're talking. Great guy, and his biggest concern, he's 66 years old. Yeah, he wants his legacy, but he actually still wants to kind of work, which was a little concerning, but I didn't mind it. wants the name. He actually trademarked his name, so he's worried about that, worried about the employees, just like you talk about, just like all these owners are. And he started talking to me about taxes and how he doesn't like to pay taxes. He was he immigrated to this country years ago. He's a citizen, but he immigrated years ago. He doesn't want to pay taxes. He does everything he can to depreciate whatever he can or buy a bunch of stuff at the end of the year to not pay taxes. And so he started going into it, and I go, well, we can get pretty creative. Are you open to getting creative on the financing? He's like, I'm very open to it. He had a deal. Check this out. He had a deal on his desk. He showed me a deal. It was $2.5 million up front and a $1 million note over 3 years.
Okay.
I believe it was 3 years. Okay. He had that deal. He could have signed it, done. He didn't take the deal. One, he didn't trust the people that were coming in. He didn't trust them. He didn't like them. There wasn't rapport. And two, he didn't want to pay taxes on the 2 million. He already knows he's got to pay his broker and he's got to pay a bunch of money on those taxes up front. So I asked him if he was willing to get creative. And he said, yeah. I go, how creative are you willing to get? Are you willing to get it creative to where I can get it to where you're paying almost no taxes? He goes, just like this. He goes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And right then I knew I had him. And what I did is I go, hey, we're going to get really creative on this. I'm going to give you a couple options. Okay. I'm going to give you a few options that, one, we can save on taxes almost 100% over time, or a lot on taxes. Two, I'm going to give you some more upfront money and see what that looks like. But let me come back later today and give you some more options. I laid out 3 different deals. Actually, no, I laid out 4 different deal structures for him. I laid out a 10-year full annuity deal at 5% interest, repayment at any time I want, full repayment anytime I want. I laid out a 15-year, which I never thought he would take, at 5%. And then I laid out 2 that gave him a little bit of cash up front. Smaller amounts, 3 and 500,000, I believe, was it, up front. I just wanted to show him to him. He came back and he wanted the 15-year deal.
Because
couldn't believe it.
15-year deal was the highest valuation, correct?
Yes, I gave him an extra $500,000 over the extra 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. So it was so seamless and so simple to get. Now, we've had some issues. We're really close to closing it. We've had a couple issues with the lawyer. His lawyer's his friend. He's like, oh, I don't know if you take the deal. Of course. So I'm working through those issues.
Yeah.
But either way, the fact that I was able to, and I would have never been able to do this without you. So full credit to you, honestly. The fact that I was able to recognize what he wanted, I built great rapport. He loved me. He knows that I'm gonna take care of the company and really grow it the way he wants. I was retaining his main guy and giving him a small percentage of the company. I was giving him small percent. I was only giving him 2.5% right off the bat. And then if we grew to a certain percentage, he can get another 2.5%.
Yeah. Nice. That's so cool, Nick, right? Because, and I do that a lot, and I'm glad you've done that, because if you've got somebody running the business for you, right, doing the day-to-day, which you're not going to do, they're going to do that.
Right.
When you give them a little piece of equity and you give them an incentive to kind of grow, it changes their psychology. They're now your business partner, right? They're going to kill themselves for you. And it's not the monetary side per se, although that's a benefit, right? Yeah, they'll get cash flow distributions, they'll get a piece of the deal when you eventually exit, but it's that they're going to work every day as a co-owner of the business. And it changed everything for me. First time I did that, but I was doing when I started doing my own deals like 15, 16 years ago, I came out of Wall Street and I was doing all these deals. Like I'd just hire a GM and I'd pay them a salary. And yeah, I'd give them bonuses and all those different things. But I used to think to myself, why aren't these guys like absolutely like driving so hard? And then one of my mentors at the time said, well, hey, give them 10% of the company. Trust me, we'll see a change. And as soon as I did that, boom, like these guys turned into like freaking Marines.
Killers. Yeah.
Killers, right?
Yeah.
Killers.
Yeah.
It's so important. So let's talk about annuity deals for a minute.